guys, what's up? It's Paige, and I read 12 books in May. I am going to mention briefly the books that I read for Asian Readathon. I always say thong, I don't know why. Anyways, I'm going to mention the title, author, and my star rating, and if you want to see my in-depth thoughts, I will leave a link down to my wrap-up Asian Readathon. Video down below, so you can check that out. Okay, so I read 4 5-star books, 5 4.5-star books, 2 4 stars, and 1 3-star. The first book that I read was A Prince on Paper by Alyssa Cole. It is the 3rd book in her Reluctant Royals series. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. The heroine, her name is Naya. It's N-Y-A. She and Johan, they ride on the plane to go to the couple from the first book, their wedding, and she has always had a thing for him, but she just doesn't think that he would ever really notice her because he's kind of like the playboy prince. I don't want to say it's enemies to lovers. I thought it was originally going to be that, but it's not. I mean, he's definitely one of the characters that there's more to him than just what he puts out on the surface, and everybody just kind of thinks that she's weak and fragile, and they just push each other to be themselves and to be strong, and I really loved that. It is the fake dating trope. Johan, he's a prince, and their country, they're trying to decide if they should basically get rid of the royals. And so he proposes to her to help with it. I know what it's about, and now it doesn't seem like I do, but I do. I don't know. It was a good book, okay? And so, what's his face? Johan. He really likes her, but he's afraid to be with her. You'll understand when you read the book. I really enjoyed it. So the next book was for Asian Readathon, Pride and Prejudice and Other Flavors by Sonali Dev. I gave it 5 stars. The next one was also for Asian Readathon, Milk and Honey by Ruby Kaur. I gave it 4.5 stars. And also Battle Angel Alita by Yukito Kishiro, and I gave it 3 stars. Alright, so the next book I read was Elis Triumph by Joanna Wild. I can't remember what novella it is in the Reapers MC series, but the hero, his name is Eli, obviously, and this one's definitely enemies to lovers. Eli just got out of prison, and he comes home, and the heroine, she's supposed to be promised the bar that they all meet at. The Reapers and just other people frequent the bar, but he came home, and so now the bar is supposed to go to him, and she's upset with him because he's getting the bar, and also because of something that happened before he went to prison. And so Eli, he's always wanted her, and he's just like, it's time. I want to be with her, and I think she wants to be with me. And so, yeah, it was a good book. I always enjoy reading Joanna Wild's Reapers MC series. It's my favorite motorcycle series, and I enjoyed reading it. I had a good time. The next book that I read was Boss by W.S. Greer. I believe it takes place in Brooklyn, New York. He just got out of prison, and he has a plan. He doesn't want to be at the station that he is in life. You know, I mean, he wants the good things, and he's super smart. He's like a tech genius. And so he decides that he's going to be his own boss. And he also meets and falls in love with an Italian mob boss's daughter, and it's their relationship. I really loved him. I loved his drive, his determination, and just he's cool. He's an awesome dude. And the heroine, I really loved her too. I mean, she's just as tough as him. She's just as determined. She really wants to make a name for herself. She wants to take over the family, but because she's a woman, her father won't even really entertain it. She has her own side hustle going on, and she's a badass. They're both badasses. And really, there's definitely romance and there's definitely sexy times, but there's so much other stuff going on. It's not just solely a romance. The hero and the heroine, they're both trying to make something of themselves, and they're both trying to be really successful business people. They want the world at their feet, and that's what they're trying to do. And they really do a pretty good job at it. It was really great. I gave it 4.5 stars. It's the first book by W.S. Greer that I've read, and I would really like to read him again. I decided to read it because of the cover and a teaser that I saw. It was really hot. I loved it. It was definitely worth it. The next book I read was Twisted by Elis Triumph. It's the first book in the Tangled Web series. I read this because Steph from Steph's romance book, is it Club or Talk? I think it's Talk, yeah. I'll make sure that I leave a link to her channel. She loves Elis Triumph, and she mentioned this in a video, and she seemed really excited for it. And the PR company who is handling this, the head person of that, said, you guys should sign up for this. And I thought, okay, fine, I'll do it. And so I did it. And for some reason, I thought this was going to be another, mafia type thing. Don't ask me why I thought that. But, it gave me low-key Linda Howard, Death Angel vibes. And I know why, but at the same time, I don't know why. And the heroine, she works at a university, and she and her partner are trying to find a way to help people who suffer with PTSD. And the hero, he's supposed to get her to stop doing that. I don't want to get into anything because I don't want to spoil it. It wasn't super surprising to me because of the Death Angel vibes. The ending didn't bother me. It does end on a cliffhanger, but I saw it coming, so it didn't really, like I said, bother me. I really loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It was really good. It was thrillery, suspensey. It even had some hot times. So I'm excited to read. I think Obsessed is next, or maybe Bound. Not quite sure, but I'm looking forward to reading it. And it was really good. The next book I read was A Debt Owed by Clarissa Wilde. 99.9% of the time I get an ARC of whatever she writes because I really love her. I gave this 4 stars. I have thoughts about this book. So, it wasn't a bad book. I liked reading it, but I have some problems with it. It kind of reminded me of Beauty and the Beast for the first half of the book, and then the next half of the book was no, definitely not. And the heroine, her father is going through a lot of financial difficulties, and the hero's well, I will make all of your financial problems go away if you give me your daughter, basically, despite the fact that she's definitely 18. Or past 18. She goes with him and they do get married. I feel like he could have gone about it a completely different way and got the result that he wanted. They've met before and stuff happened, and so he really wants her, but it's also kind of a bit of a revenge type deal. And stuff happens, and this is only the first book. The next book is A Debt Repaid, and I don't know. Honestly, some major redemption is going to have to happen in that book. Because at where we left off, I really didn't care if she ended up with him or not. And that was not the ideal goal. I don't know. It kept me interested. It sucked me in. I do love Clarissa Wilde. I'm going to read A Debt Repaid. This book, it didn't gel with me, but that's not the first time it's happened with one of her books, but I really do love her books, and she's awesome. So it was just one of her books that I didn't particularly like. But I didn't hate it. So yeah. The next one was If the Dress Fits by Carla D. Guzman. I gave that 4 stars. This was Asian Readathon. Also, this one was 2. No Two Ways by Chai Yu Rodriguez. I gave this 4.5 stars. Alright, the next book I read was Rebel by Beverly Jenkins. I read her Tempest and I really loved it, and I saw this on Edelweiss and I got approved for it and I loved it. The heroine, she is actually from New York and she comes down to the South to help teach students, to teach children and adults how to read and write and basically give them an education that they were not able to have when they were slaves. And her school is destroyed, and so she can't teach there anymore. And the hero, he actually served in the Civil War, and he's tried to help at the soldier's office, but stuff happens and he leaves and he meets her and he eventually decides that, I will build your school for you, and they fall in love. I think his name is Drake, and I really loved him. Drake was awesome. My favorite part is that he has pirate blood in him, and that's like a huge big thing, and he's sexy. I love Drake. It's their romance and it's really good. They fall in love with each other and I loved it so much. It's the first book in the Women Who Dare series, and I'm really excited for the following books. And I need to read also one of her standalones because I think it's like his grandfather or just like his actual pirate person grandfather story, and I want to read that. It was great. Absolutely loved it. The last book I read in May was Meg Cabot's Bridal Bootcamp. I had originally pre-ordered this for 99 cents because I had requested it from Edelweiss, but I hadn't heard anything from them, and I went ahead and pre-ordered it, and I really should have realized that it was 99 cents because this is like 50 some pages long. So it's just a short little novella, but I loved it. I thought it was really awesome. I gave it 5 stars. And the heroine, she is a yoga instructor, and the hero, he is a cop, and he has had anger management issues, or just it seemed that way, and so his chief said, you need to go to yoga and try to help fix your anger management problem, basically. And it's called Bridal Bootcamp because the heroine, her yoga class is full of brides or like mothers of the brides or friends of the brides, and they have a connection, and it's short. They meet each other, they really like each other. It's like a happily ever after. It was really enjoyable. It was funny. It was cute. If you love Meg Cabot, I'm sure you'll love this. The next book actually the first book in the series, I can't remember what it's called. Oh no. Anyways, no judgment. I think it comes out in September, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it takes place on an island or something. I don't know. I can't remember. And that was all of the books that I read in May. So I will see you guys later.